Welcome to Installment 1. iPad for All Computing 2022. Produced by
TTJ Tech.
What are you doing right now, my friends? Maybe you're still preparing some food to eat during class. There's our frying pan going now. Maybe we should open up a drink and pour it. How about that? What does that sound like? Well, I know I'm ready. What about you? How about Trainer Cliff? Are you ready? Let's see what Trainer Cliff is doing. Cliff, what are you doing there? Let's check it out. Oh, I see. You gotta have a little pregame snack. Okay. Well, my friends, let's get started anyway because I think he'll be ready pretty soon. I can. Well, is that it? You good? You good? Good. All right. What we'd like to teach you about. Goodness gracious, Cliff. All right. So, you know what I think, guys? I think we ought to just move on. Okay, let's move on right now. That's enough of that. Hey, guys, you know what? It's time to get started with iPad for All Computing.
Fasten your seatbelts. Get ready for liftoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Initiating launch sequence.
Welcome, everybody, to iPad for All Computing, produced, of course, by TTJ Tech Services at www.ttjtech.net. Coming at you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so exciting for me to be welcoming you to what is our 5th year of iPad for All Computing in one form or another. And we are just absolutely thrilled, my friends, to be coming to you today, both on YouTube and here in Zoom, wherever you might be joining us from today. We are just so thrilled to have you with us, guys. And I gotta tell you, folks, you're in for a real treat because this class is awesome. We consider this our flagship course, and it's our goal to teach you how to use the iPad from the ground up, even if you want to replace a traditional computer. Now think about that. That's amazing, right? And that's what we're gonna do here at iPad for All Computing. Now, let me be very, very clear. We can't teach everything. That's just impossible, right? We'd be here for years. We don't even know everything. How can we teach everything? All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to give you a foundation, and then we're going to tell you how to learn more. Remember, we're offering you this course completely free of charge because we're so passionate about what it can do for you. It can change your life. You know, Apple has completely revolutionized the way we work, play, learn, create, communicate, design, and express ourselves. And here at TTJ, we can't wait to share with you how that can happen. Now, if you want to go beyond this and go even further, remember that we do offer paid training courses, even our free and paid digital cafes in areas like Apple Pages, and there'll be some coming up for Keynote and Numbers and a lot more. All right, but we use our iPad for everything here in our household and on our entire TTJ team. And so, my friends, we are super excited. Right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce you to the team of certified professionals who have been trained as Apple teachers, Apple certified support professionals, or have equivalent experience. We're absolutely thrilled to share that with you. And before we do, let me remind you that this course is not endorsed by Apple. We are not a partner of Apple. We're not representing Apple. We're doing this on our own because we love it so much and we believe so strongly in it. We hope it will completely change your experience for the better, whether you're a VoiceOver user or not. It's time to learn iPad for all computing. Hello once again, everybody. I am Matt Volbrecht of the TTJ team. And I'm so excited to be coming to you today. You know, I began using Apple products back in 2009. First, the aluminum MacBook, and then the iPod Nano. Finally, I really moved into things with the iPhone 3GS. I've been loving Apple products and teaching Apple products ever since. iPad, I now have a couple of iPads here. We have several in our home, from the 8th and 9th generation iPads to the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. We've got iPhone 11s, 12s, and 13 Pros. We've got Apple TV 4K devices. We've got Apple Watches. I have the SE, if you're curious. We have the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar. Of course, we got us some AirPods, 2nd, 3rd, and Pro. I mentioned Apple TVs. I didn't mention HomePods yet. We've got some HomePods, some HomePod minis. My wife and my 2 kids, my son who's almost 15, my daughter who's 9, they're just awesome kids. They love their Apple products. They love to help me. My son helps me with web design. And, you know, my wife is a teacher, so we are such a blessed family, and I just have to give God praise for all the blessings that he pours out on our lives. I hope to share just even a fraction of that with you, and we know you'll be blessed as well. I'm overjoyed to be teaching this course. You know, I got into this because I believe God called me to do it, but the earthly thing that he used was the release of the then 6th generation iPad back in 2018. I said to Trainer Cliff, I said, you know something, Apple has revolutionized something all over again, even if they don't get credit for it, and they may not, because it's not a brand new product. It's simply an iteration. But it packed the best features into this device and really made it possible for everybody, almost everybody, to afford it, and yet gave us everything we needed. I run my entire business and a good portion of my life from an iPad. And so we can't wait to show you that. In 2018, I became certified as an Apple teacher. In 2015, as a Mac OS certified associate, OS 10, I guess at the time, certified associate, and then an Apple teacher. And I'm continuing to study, I'm continuing to learn, using Apple's guidance every step of the way. I've been blind since the age of 3, but that hasn't stopped me. Praise God for his blessings. Thank you so much for joining us, my friends.
Stir it up.
Hello, I am Trainer Cliff. I've been involved with TTJ instructor team since 2018. Me and Trainer Matt have been friends since probably 2013 or 14. If you are a new student in this class, you'll hear that story some down the line. Others of you already know it. My Apple experience goes back to starting with the iPhone in 2010, an iMac in 2011, a Mac Mini in 2013, an iPad Pro Air, and back to a Air in 2020 of last year, I guess. And now I finally got an iMac 24-inch. I also had experience with the iPad Air, iPad Pro, and an iPad 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th generation. I also own multiple HomePods and an Apple Watch. I am blessed to be part of this team and TTJ as a whole. We thrive on teaching voiceover and the products that it is accessible with, which is literally all of them. I also own AirPods 3rd generations and AirPod Max. I'm also studying for my ACSP, which stands for Apple Certified Support Professional, and I've also completed multiple Apple teacher courses. I enjoy working with this team because it's a knowledge of wealth that you'll get from TTJ as a whole. And individuals know certain things, like I know Mac stuff more than Matt does. Matt knows iOS stuff literally probably more than all of us does, but we all contribute. If I need an iOS question answered, I call Matt before I call Apple accessibility. So, again, I am Trainer Cliff, and great to be a part of this team.
Hello everyone, my name is Rita Howells. I have been part of the TTJ team for some time now. It's a pleasure to get to work with these dedicated individuals who are teaching all things Apple with an emphasis on using VoiceOver. I am blind myself, and I have worked in the blindness rehabilitation field for a long time now. These Apple devices running the iOS software are truly life-changing, especially for me and many individuals with visual impairments. I hope you enjoy this upcoming iPad class in the spring of 2022. There's so much to learn and so much to explore. Everything is possible with VoiceOver and the miracle of this Apple technology.
This is my fourth. Hello everybody, Lynn Mayleaf here. It's wonderful to be with you. This is my 4th year as an instructor with the Tech Juggernaut team. I wanted to say first of all that it's a huge honor, and we've gotten to know the students so well. As a matter of fact, so many of you have been coming back every year. We've become a big extended family, and we're very excited for new people to join us. One of the things that I wanted to share with you about our instructor team is that we're all passionate about paying it forward. We have been working hard to learn how to use Apple devices with VoiceOver, and our favorite thing to do is to pay it forward and share it with all of you. A little bit about my background. In the past 9.5 years, I've been working for Apple in the retail store as a specialist. This has been a wonderful experience. The past 2 years since COVID started, I have been working at home, but I think that's going to change in the near future. if things with COVID cooperate. Prior to my career at Apple, I worked in the field of employment for people who are visually impaired and blind, and then at a Center for Independent Living for people with all disabilities, which included technology to allow a person to be on an equal playing field with our sighted peers. So putting all of this together, being here with you, allows me to share and learn from you as well. Just wanted to say to take care, look forward to talking to all of you, and see you soon. Bye.
Hi everyone, this is Sarah Potok, the newest member of the TTJ team. I am super happy to be on board, partly for me because I love these people, and also very happy to be trying at least to help all of you. I've been working on computers for probably the last 40 years or so, starting on computers that probably nobody knows of, ceiling to floor, wall to wall, lights flashing, etc. But now, since 2015 or actually earlier, 2013, I've been getting into the Apple world, starting with an iPhone, getting an iMac, getting an iPad. Now I have an Apple Watch, the newest of the family of Apple products. But mostly I'm really strong, well, I hope I'm really strong on the iPad and the iPhone, even though I do have a MacBook Air. I'm just very happy to be here to help if I can. That's all. Talk to you all soon.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen, your TTJ instructor team, if you're glad to see them. Let's talk about what you'll need to truly get the most from this course. Now, you are welcome to join us without using VoiceOver at all, and we'll certainly be teaching both to the VoiceOver user and to the non-VoiceOver user. However, if you are a VoiceOver user, we strongly recommend that you already have a good, reasonable working knowledge of the VoiceOver screen reader. And we're going to begin things in a few moments with a quick general review of the VoiceOver gestures and concepts, just in case you need it. If you're not a VoiceOver user, feel free to skip that section or just sit back and relax. It's only going to be a couple minutes. Now, of course, one of the things you're going to need, you'll want an iPad. And there are lots and lots of choices as to which iPad you might want. iPad 9th generation, iPad Air, iPad Pro, and iPad Mini. And if you have questions and have not yet purchased an iPad, or wish to receive purchasing assistance or other services related to purchasing the iPad or obtaining one, please get in touch with us by sending a message to support@ttjtech.net. That's support@ttjtech.net. NET. A quick review of the VoiceOver screen reader. VoiceOver is a gesture-based screen reader found on all Apple, iOS, and iPadOS devices. VoiceOver also comes in some form on Apple TV, Apple Watch, HomePod, and Macintosh. So every Apple product is equipped with numerous accessibility features, of which VoiceOver is one. VoiceOver allows you to navigate the screen, hear the contents of the screen, interact with them, and of course even enter text. To navigate with VoiceOver, place one finger on the screen and swipe left or right. All navigation is left to right. Quickly move one finger to the right to go to the next element on screen, and to the left to go back to the previous element on the screen. You may also tap anywhere on the screen to explore by touch. When you have found an element you wish to activate, such as opening an app or typing a character, simply double tap, that is, tap 2 times very quickly with one finger. The rotor is a virtual on-screen control that allows you to further interact with various items, change settings, and a whole lot more. To change the rotor, place 2 fingers on the display and rotate them clockwise or counterclockwise as if you were turning a dial. For example, you may find an item in the rotor that allows you to navigate by character or by words. Once you've selected the item, such as characters or words, swipe up or down with one finger to act on what the rotor's set to, in this case, to move by character. So, swipe down to move to the next character, and swipe up with one finger to move to the previous character. Again, to change the rotor, set it to something else. That's a 2-finger rotation on the screen. The rotor is dynamic, and it's context-aware, meaning it changes, displaying the information that is needed, and it can do this by telling what app you're in and even what type of screen element you're on. If you're working with text, for example, you may find options like misspelled words, edit, and more. Certain options, such as text selection, however, can be manually added to the rotor by going to Settings, Accessibility, VoiceOver, and Rotor. You can put various setting changes in the rotor, such as your speaking rate, volume of VoiceOver, hints, and more. Many of these settings can also be accessed quickly on the fly by performing a 2-finger quadruple tap, that is, tapping 4 times with 2 fingers. Once you know these basic gestures and concepts, you'll be able to navigate anywhere. Just listen to your hints. Now, for a more thorough overview of VoiceOver, we encourage you to check out our YouTube playlist, iOS 15, which was taken directly from our Learning VoiceOver In and Out course that we just taught in the fall. So it's current, it's up to date, and it's ready for you. You'll learn everything you need to know about VoiceOver in that playlist if you don't already know it. For questions, please get in touch with us by sending an email to support@ttjtech.net. That's support@ttjtech.net. Now that we've discussed the VoiceOver screen reader and given you ways to learn more, let's get back to stuff that relates to everybody. And don't forget about Apple's support documentation, their user guide, their YouTube channel, and more. And by the way, you can quickly change settings from Settings, Accessibility, and VoiceOver. You can even learn every gesture and keyboard command available to VoiceOver users. So, that's enough VoiceOver talk. Let's move on. let's discuss the various iPad configurations. Beginning with the iPad 9th generation, which also applies, by the way, to the 8th and even the 7th generation iPad. When you hold the iPad vertically, you will find that at the bottom of the screen is the round circular home button, with which many are already familiar. This also serves as the Touch ID sensor, where you can easily use your fingerprint to unlock your device, pay for purchases, and a whole lot more. On the top edge of the device, you'll find the top button, sometimes referred to as the sleep-wake button, and on the left-hand side of the top of the iPad is the 3.5mm headset jack. Now on the right side of the iPad, you'll find volume up and down buttons. At the bottom of the iPad is the lightning connector. And of course, you know you can plug things into this, your adapters, your charger, what have you. Also, on the right side of the iPad, near the bottom, is the SIM tray, if in fact you have a cellular-capable iPad. Your cameras are on the top. You have one on the top front and in the back as well. You've got microphones, and of course the stereo speakers located at the bottom. The iPad Air, in its current configuration, is set up similarly to the iPad 9th generation, except it does not have a home button. Touch ID can be found in the top button. There are also volume buttons on the side. You will find that the iPad Air has a striking resemblance to the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro also lacks a home button and a headset jack, and does have a top button on the top and volume buttons on the side. However, it uses Face ID instead of Touch ID, thanks to the True Depth camera system located in the iPad Pro. You'll also notice multiple cameras out the back, including the LiDAR scanner. All right, my friends, let's talk about iPad orientation. Hold the iPad vertically as we just described, and you're in portrait. Turn the iPad long ways so it appears more horizontal than vertical, and you'll find the home button or the charge port on the left or to the right, and you are in landscape mode with the screen facing you. Now, the beautiful thing about the iPad OS is that you can hold your iPad in any orientation you like in most any apps. Videos are going to be best utilized in landscape, but really you can use just about any orientation, even upside down, portrait flip if you want. Just remember that what becomes the top of the screen, the top of apps, changes with which direction you turn that iPad. So the top of the iPad may not necessarily be the top of the screen anymore. Make sense? Think about it a little. Here at TTJ, we recommend holding the iPad in landscape mode with either the home button to the right or to the left if you have one. Voiceover will always announce where that home button is located to give you a frame of reference as to which direction the iPad is currently facing and which way you should move. If your iPad does not have a home button, Voiceover uses the charge port as a frame of reference. iPad setup is extremely easy. Simply press and hold the top button for about 5 to 6 seconds, or until you see the Apple logo, if you can see. Now, simply follow the on-screen instructions to set up the device. But what if I'm a Voiceover user? No problem. Wait about 1 minute, press the top button again, then triple click. Now, what are we going to triple click, my friends? Well, if we have a home button, we'll triple click that. Press it 3 times quickly to turn on VoiceOver right out of the box without any prior configurations. This also works if you've factory restored your iPad. If you don't have a home button, you'll triple click the top button. The top button. Now, beyond this, follow the on-screen instructions and your knowledge of VoiceOver to set up your iPad. You'll be walked through transferring settings from another device. If you want, you can even transfer your cellular data plan, certainly your Apple ID, Wi-Fi settings, and more, or you can enter it manually. If you don't have an Apple ID, you can create one now. You'll also set up Touch ID or Face ID and a passcode. You'll set up Apple Pay. You'll verify which screen look you like the best, True Tone or not. We recommend True Tone. For those who can see, this matters. And eventually, after the initial setup and agreeing to the privacy reports and all of these things, you will be taken to the home screen. And if you choose to restore from a backup, this will happen as well for you. We encourage you to use automatic setup to set up your iPad from another device nearby, but to use iCloud rather than direct device transfer if you're going to be restoring from a backup. That is, use automatic setup from one device to another and then restore from an iCloud backup when prompted with the choice. And by the way, you don't have to. You can set it up as new, and as long as you're signed into the same iCloud account, you're still going to get all your contacts, calendar events, photos, and so much more. A software update may be necessary, and then you're good to go. Unlocking your iPad. Anytime you want to use your iPad, press the top button or open its cover, such as the Apple Smart Cover or Smart Keyboard if you have one. At this point, you can rest the appropriate finger on the Touch ID home button to authenticate. Press the home button to fully complete the process and go directly to the home screen. You can also tap the screen of the iPad Pro and certain models and use Face ID rather than Touch ID to unlock. Yet in other devices like the iPad Air, Touch ID is located in the top button rather than in the home button. You can read notifications without going to the home screen. You can also swipe left or right to quickly access the camera or widgets, which we'll learn more about very soon. All right, my friends, this is going to complete our first recording. But we've got more for you. And don't forget our live interactive portions each time in Zoom. If you can make it, you don't want to miss it, because we're going to take your questions and we're going to hear from the other instructors on the team to hear what they have to share with us as well. Now, my friends, it is time for us to move on to talk about the home screen, control center, notifications, widgets, spotlight, and so much more. Please join us for that next recording. And thanks so much for tuning into this one. God bless you, everybody.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say